Dogs on parade in this canine costume contest.
After months of construction, CWU's newest edition is finally open.
Welcome to this week's edition of Central News Watch. I'm Charles Prater.
And I'm Austin McKenzie.
What used to be the old sub is now the $64.5 million Samuelson Building.
Daisy Hernandez went to take a tour to see what this technology brings to this campus.
Demolishing for the building started back in May of 2016 after being shut down for over a decade. 2.5 years later, the building is now open to students. The construction of this building was due to an increase of science and technology programs. This building will provide new learning opportunities to students.
With a better building comes better learning, and we cannot be really learning and getting experiences from broken technology or outdated software.
The ITAM student gave us a tour of the building, highlighting the new features. One of the new hands-on experiences in this building is
this augmented reality sandbox. You can pile it up really high, and see the levels changing.
Another feature in this building is student workspace pods.
So this is a student workspace pod. This is a great place to do it. It's also just a quiet and private place that you can get some studying done.
The building is also home to the Multi-Module Education Center. This is where students use computer softwares to 3D print. From Samuelson High, Daisy Hernandez, Central News Watch.
The nearly 136,000 square foot Samuelson Building holds 17 classrooms, 11 computer labs, and 6 studios.
The Ellensburg School District wants to address overcrowded schools, maintenance, and safety concerns. Proposition 1 will make changes to 2 local elementary schools and build a third, all while not increasing the current local tax rate. Sean Quinn tells us why that is.
The bond concerns Lincoln and Mount Stewart Elementaries and a potential third school. The main issue addressed by the bond, according to the district, is that the 2 schools are overcrowded. Each has a capacity of up to 350 students, but both currently hold over 450. A former principal at Lincoln Elementary describes the experience for both students and faculty at the school.
We've added 6 portable classrooms, we have converted closets to classroom space, and we have pushed storage out into the hallway. We are packed into this school like sardines.
The district says if the bond passes, at Lincoln they will add a new gym and classrooms, a larger cafeteria, a retrofit to comply with seismic code, address ADA compliance issues, expand parking, and add HVAC. At Mount Stewart, they will also add a new gym and classrooms, add a secure entrance, expand the cafeteria, install HVAC, replace a leaking roof, and separate the drop-off zone from the buses. And all of this, according to the district, will come at no local tax rate increase to voters for 2 reasons.
The first is McCleary decision resulted in a lowering of our educational operations levy from $3.40 down to $1.50. And the second is our high school bonds will be retired in 2021.
Last but not least, where this 29-acre patch of empty land is at the end of West Helena Avenue could be the location of a brand new elementary school with a capacity of 500 students. The school will only be built if the levy passes. For Central News Watch, I'm Sean Quinn.
The total cost for the project, including renovations at both schools and the new school, will be valued at around $60 million. For more information on the cost breakdown, visit our Facebook page.
Wow, I mean, they get a new school. That's incredible. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, but I'm glad for the study rooms that we're able to study alone in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
From trash to treasure, these items are one of a kind.
Is a 4-year degree the new high school diploma?
My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is a four-year degree the new high school diploma? More and more employers are raising the academic baseline for their job posting. Tyler Kelly went to the Lynn Hall to learn about their value of the four-year degree.
Currently, 11,635 students are working toward their four-year degrees here at CWU. What used to be a competitive advantage is now more of a necessity in many cases. In a recent Washington Post article, the four-year degree was referred to as the new high school diploma, meaning jobs that used to require a high school diploma require more.
Where it used to be, high school diploma was really all you needed. I think because the field is so competitive now and so many people do have the four-year degree, that it is really a requirement to enter the workforce.
Although competition in the workforce is tight, the value of a four-year degree goes well beyond a piece of paper. Finishing your degree shows potential employers' commitment and exposes students to different career options and opportunities. When in pursuit of a four-year degree, it is important to remember,
and frankly, no education is wasted. Every bit of education has value.
At Lynn Hall, Taylor Kelly, CentralNewsWatch.
On average, those that graduate from their four-year degree earn $1 million more than over the lifetime than those who would forgo a higher education.
They say one man's junk is another man's treasure, and that couldn't be more true when it comes to the market here in Ellensburg. It's the fourth year in a row of this event. In fact, flea market decor has Juntiquen ranked one of the top 12 flea markets in the U.S. They say one man's junk is another man's treasure, and that couldn't be more true when it comes to the Juntiquen market here in Ellensburg. It's the fourth year in a row of this event. In fact, flea market decor has Juntiquen ranked one of the top 12 flea markets in the U.S.
It was a magazine that ordered it to us. We didn't go out looking for it, so I'm not sure how we were brought into it, but we were listed as one of the top 12 in the nation, which is really cool.
Becky Shirley, director of Juntiquen, has been antiquing for 20 plus years and says the best part about the festival is the location of Ellensburg.
I think just the difference is tying it in with our great community. We're central Washington, which is the heart of Washington, and so it brings people from all over pretty easily, which is nice.
Mike and Sarah Best have enjoyed all 4 years of the festival and are always excited when new vendors come around.
You never know what you're going to find because it's always a treasure, and you don't know like the trends and what you're going to go picking for and who the people you're going to meet, what kind of stories you're going to hear.
If you weren't able to make it to this year's Juntiquen, don't worry. This festival will return next time around spring.
The CW Marching Band had some new faces this past weekend as the Ellensburg High School Bulldogs joined in the fun at the new Tomlinson Stadium. Tigers, Bulldogs, and Wildcats, oh my. United, the two marching bands came together to join in fun, music, and team spirit. The normal band size doubled for each group, bringing this sound to momentum levels. One of the hopes for this coming together was to provide more opportunities for CW's music ed majors to teach and for the EHS band members to learn.
Yeah, I'd love to see more involvement with our CW ed majors in the schools, teaching, helping out, playing, and just inspiring the younger generations.
Many CW ed majors along with the school. Meetings like this allow students to practice their teaching skills and help the younger kids develop into high caliber musicians. The middle schoolers and high schoolers plan another visit to Central. With more home games on the schedule for CW, we may be seeing more team-ups for these three bands.
You know, I've never seen the band play, Charles.
Yeah, neither have I. I've actually was part of my high school band. I played the saxophone and clarinet, so.
Oh, I could never play an instrument.
Yeah,
so.
it's a little tough.
People brought their best friends along to this fall celebration.
Most people play soccer with a soccer ball. But nowadays, some people are choosing a game controller over that.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable.
Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Time to wake up.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Don't forget, you've got a job to do today.
Hey, Mom. I got the job. Thanks.
Got the job. Welcome aboard.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Na 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 na. I love you so. I love you. I love you. La 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 la. La 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Yeah, look at camera two.
With the following weekend from homecoming, all of our teams stayed strong going into war this past week. Kyle Stahl joins us in the studio to tell us how our Wildcats did this last week.
Well, I'd like to kick things off with our football team. Our football team had a great weekend this weekend with the momentum they carried into their from their homecoming weekend into this weekend. They had a great day. I'm going to start off by saying it was a broken record kind of day. They broke their own and GNAC's record by getting the most total offensive yards, by breaking their record of 696 yards, to 719 yards on Saturday. It was a big day. And then we're going to go south of Tomlinson Stadium down to our our volleyball team going down to play their first. Our volleyball team had 2 home games last weekend. They hosted Concordia Thursday and Western Oregon on Saturday and added 2 more wins to their column. They're about to head out to Seattle Pacific University upcoming on Thursday. They hope to keep their hot streak going with only 6 games left into the playoffs. Now let's talk about cross country. The team went to Bellingham for the Western Washington University Invitational. Sadly, they did not do as well as they have been in previous weeks, but they came in 7th place. No worries for that because it was just a warm-up for something that's coming bigger. 2-time GNAC Player of the Week, Alexa Shindrick, and her fellow Wildcats are going to be heading to the GNAC Championship in Mammoth, Oregon on the 3rd of November. Plus yards, which are GNAC Offensive Player of the Week. Roots carried the ball only 7 times last weekend, and one of them was a huge 80-yard rush touchdown. On the defensive side, Dante Hamilton tagged another 7 tackles to remain leading the team. He also got his first interception of the year and returned it back for 64 yards. Our first senior is KK Wallace, who recorded her first goal as a Wildcat back on August 13th of 2015. Our next senior is Kennedy Anson. Last year, she was on the field for a massive 1,524 minutes. Being a defender, Emily Minogue held opponents to a 1.03 goal average, all in 2016. Lexi Manning scored 2 goals this year on 21 shots. Then we have a transfer student, Olivia Alason, who has taken 891 minutes on this year's team. Now we have a super senior who has been here since 2014, a 2016 GNAC Academic All-Conference player
Bailey Martinsick.
These 6 seniors played against St. Martin's on Saturday for Senior Day. Although she is not a senior, sophomore Emily Russell was able to put on a show for her seniors and all of the family there. She was the only one to put a score on the board to get the fellow Cats a win. With these 2 wins from the last week, they're able to raise their record to a 4-7-4, now only with 2 games left in the season. While on the topic of soccer, another tournament kicked off in the Cirque Theater last Wednesday, but Austin Lane tells us this tournament took place on a video screen.
Esports are on the rise at CWU.
Kick that ball, man!
One game that drew in over 30 competitors last week was FIFA 19. The soccer video game tournament was hosted by CWU Recreation, and many colleges around the country are beginning to recognize gaming as an official sport. The prize for winning the tournament was a shirt and a pair of Wildcat socks. CWU student Badu Ngum was down 4-2 in the early stage of the final before making a comeback and winning the game 6-4.
Nah, I'm the best in this school, easy.
The esports community is not only growing around the world, but also here on CW campus. So why exactly are athletes going from playing soccer with this to playing soccer with this? FIFA has seen its share of popularity in the scene and even hosts its own E-World Cup. The first ever FIFA E-World Cup was in Zurich, Switzerland over a decade ago. The total prize money from last year's tournament was $400,000 US. The 2018 Grand Final had over 29 million views digitally, and the total number of participants on the road to the E-World Cup amassed over 20 million players. CWU Recreation has hosted Madden, Fortnite, and FIFA tournaments and hopes to add more games to the schedule as the esports scene continues to grow on campus. For Central Newswatch, I'm Austin Lane.
If you like games and you like sports, be on the lookout for more tournaments on campus the rest of the school year. But guys, all of our Central Wildcats are on fire right now. I hope you guys are ready for some playoffs. But what do you think they have to do to keep up their own hot streaks going?
Thanks, Kyle. Glad to see your teams are taking names out there.
That FIFA tournament looked really fun. I play a lot on my own, but I don't think I'd be good enough for that tournament.
Yeah, I'm more of a Madden type of guy, you know, football, stuff like that. Next, we'll be joined in studio by a guest. Wildcat Athletic Director Dennis Francois is here to discuss the recent Tomlinson Stadium renovations.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back to Central News Watch. Central's Tomlinson Stadium underwent a multi-million-dollar facelift over the summer. So far, the football team has played 3 games under the lights. It was one of the improvements made along with new turf and the Wildcat Plaza. CW Athletic Director Dennis Francois oversaw the Tomlinson Stadium renovations and the addition of the new track in North Campus. Mr. Francois joins us in the studio today to talk about the impact of the renovations that they have had on Central Athletics. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today, Mr. Francois.
My pleasure, Austin. Thanks
now, let's get to our first question real quick. What are some other things other than having football night games that was big for the Tomlinson renovations?
Well, I think our facility was getting tired, first of all. I think built in 1959, hadn't seen really a major renovation for a number of years, but really giving a better atmosphere for our students, for our fans, and everybody that comes to our games. So I think that's a big part of it. You know, the concessions, the upgraded ticket office, the entry gates, all of those things added so much for that experience as a fan. But I think the utility of having that artificial turf, being able to be out there for 3 soccer games already, 1 rugby game on the pitch already, that multi-use aspect of the facility really brings a lot to the facility and to the university.
And you talked about the atmosphere already at the games that we've already had at the new Tomlinson Stadium. What have you seen so far from not only the football games but other games?
Well, I think everything. You know, our student body is so supportive of our athletic department and our student athletes, which is a big part of that student experience as a general student. So I think that's a big part of it. But I think the other side of it is when our band is out there. I know the section on the band earlier. Lewis Norfleet has done an unbelievable job of bringing that band together, and I've been to a lot of different football games in the GNAC. By far, our atmosphere is the most positive and electric atmosphere.
Awesome. How were you feeling after that first night under the lights, that football game? I know we lost the game to a tough loss to West Texas A&M, but how were you feeling specifically for just kind of the process and being done with it?
You know, the grand opening of that was a special night, and you know, having the American flag come in with the skydivers was special. The fireworks afterwards were very special. The outcome of the game, definitely would like to change that. Yeah. But it really gave us an idea of kind of what that traffic flow would be like inside there, the pedestrian traffic. Our architect was there, our contractors were there, and them being able to see kind of their product and being used was a pretty interesting thing. But that was a great night, and of course a record crowd there as well. So that's one thing we've seen, that and the Alumni Plaza has really brought a lot to the atmosphere.
And paying for these renovations, are the donations completely paid off yet?
Not completely, but we are up over that 4 million mark, and we got 4.5 is our mark for that. So doing a lot of great things still, a lot of big asks out there, but really people have responded very well, and got a lot of generous donors out there for sure.
Awesome. Well, that was Dennis Francois, Athletic Director here at Central Washington University, a big proponent in the Tomlinson Stadium renovations and also the track over in North Campus, joining us here in studio today. Again, thank you very much, Mr. Francois.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Time to wake up.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Don't forget, you've got a job to do today.
got the job. Thanks.
You've got the job. Welcome aboard.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
This festival was lucky enough to attract man as well as pup. Have you ever heard of bobbing for apples? How about digging through corn for a tasty treat? Well, that's what it took to take place at this year's Old Mill Country Store. Cole Strasburg checked out the event last Sunday.
The Old Mill Country Store held its annual Flocktober and Melloween festival filled with face painting, paper plate pumpkin painting, and cookie decorating. Attendees also helped themselves to free hot dogs and apple cider as children dug for candy through a trough full of corn.
This is definitely a super busy day for us. We're normally pretty busy on the weekends and stuff with everyone just being off work, but today is definitely packed, so it's great.
The main event came around noon with an owner and pet costume contest. Over 10 contestants entered, but it was the youngest of all who took home first place. Cassidy, only 2.5 years old, won with her dog Annie, both of which were dressed up in Native American clothing. All participants were treated with lots of candy, but none more than Cassidy. From the Old Mill Country Store, Cole Strasburg, CentralNewsWatch.
Do you like dogs, man? Because I have a dog, I'm a husky, and I love dogs.
I'm not a dog man. I am more of a cat man. They don't slobber everywhere.
True that. But yeah, absolutely. You know, I haven't seen my dog in a couple months because I've been at school, but yeah, I miss him myself. But I miss him a lot, though.
My grandma has 2 dogs, 2 pugs. I do love one of them. The other one's a little annoying once in a while.
Yeah, I consider him my nephew because he's technically my brother's dog.
Okay.
But yeah, I would have loved to enter in this, and we probably would have done like the Hobbit type of thing like that. But
I think you could put a football jersey on the husky, a good old UW one.
Yeah. That wraps it up for this edition of Central News Watch. Make sure you join us next week.
Make sure to follow us on our Facebook page at Central News Watch to find out what cool stories will be coming your way.
From all of us here at CNW, good night, everybody.
Good night.